This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
How do three paladins of separate gods?
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends. I would give my life to see them through.
I could have, but I didn't. And every day has been beautiful since.
I think I'm surrounded by good things.
A cleric on a hunt for redemption.
I need it for my friends, family, these people that I love, who have always been the answers to my prayers.
Whatever the hell you are.
I don't know if deserving has anything to do with anything.
A storyteller.
And if you ever need me ever again, let me know.
And one I haven't figured out yet.
I think that would take me a while to find someone more knowledgeable than me.
All come together. And there's not a bit of fate in that?
I think you mispronounced friends.
Well, I will drink to that.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near. Take these wings to Nyessa. Carry them home. I'm back from the daily, nightly, weekly bullshit. I should just always call it 8. You guys ready to start?
You're muted. I'm joking.
Episode 46, Chasing Violet. Darkness. Accompanied by a beating heart, sure and steady, and voices. How long has it been here? 4 days, essence, but bonding it has proved difficult. We've tried the graves of each gemstone, yet still it resists. Darkness fades to see a garden, cultivated with blue pines and blackberry bushes, surrounded by thick stone walls and vibrant banners. Panning, the vision shifts towards the far corner, where the colors smear before fading to an area of colorless black, white, and gray. In the center of the color absence is a child, maybe 12 years, in fine clothes, pale, dead, and colorless with still open eyes. A stark contrast to the orange and reds of the sun failing and falling below the horizon. Does Demiri know? Not yet, but he returns with the night. I will do this. Bring me the second blade. We will bond the essence to it. An open hand presents, gauntleted in gold and runed plate. Into it, a serpentine blade of silver is placed. Remembrance of Advisor Sorakathis. Previously, as the Bronze Scales piece together their research and prepare for their next steps, Verse Sage Yolana appears before them reporting what they've learned of the assassin, and that both her body and something called the Arcanitech schematic was stolen from the Scriptorian by another assassin. Sage Yolana offered a wealth in gold for the return of the schematic, as well as a bonus for the return of the bodies of the assassins. Agreeing and getting information on the last known location, the Bronze Scales begin by delving into the tunnels of the viaduct beneath Nyessa. They fall through sewer rats and snuck past a group of idiots before coming upon a yellow-green light and sentient kelp. We come back to the story here. The sentient kelp resides in the next room over, a well of sorts, and holds the lever blocking your way. It offers to open the door in exchange for a memory, speaking through the manipulated voice box of a corpse. You've all moved back to the antechamber, planning and deciding which course of action to take. Except for your own lights, the chamber is dark with a moldy smell and wet floors. A simple room except for the central spiraling staircase and the hall into the well room beyond. What would you like to do?
Well, does anybody need anything before we destroy this thing?
I just want to clarify, I know that we've got some buffs up from last week. I've got Protection of Good and Evil active on Ellory that we should have casted right before the episode ended last time around. Also, I'm pretty sure we have Beacon of Hope up, as well as Bless, but I don't remember who was blessed. And I believe I've got +2 AC on me right now as well. No. I don't know why I've got plus 2 AC. Is that from something else?
I think that was earlier.
Yeah, you cast Shield of Faith on yourself earlier in the session.
Right. But since I did Protection of Good and Evil, that'll fade. But we still have Bless and Beacon of Hope, I think, or is that not true anymore?
I cast Beacon of Hope earlier in the session, and it lasts...
that lasts a minute, so that's faded by now. You could recast it if you're preparing to do something.
Before we actually go in here, there is the possibility of actually, just giving it a memory and going past it and dealing with it later so that we can save our resources for our actual target.
And destroy it on the way out.
Or send somebody else down after we get out, depending on how we're doing.
I don't agree with allowing something like this to live any longer, if it's even living. And Ball will kind of look at it, Ezekiel, for some support.
I stand with Ball. This is an unnatural creature that is feeding on the planet. I will not allow it to infect its way any further. That is not a plant.
I don't like it either. I'm just trying to be practical here. Do you think it would hurt that much to leave it until we're on our way out?
I don't believe that it deserves our memories.
Fine. If we do it, though, I'm given the memory.
Are you sure?
No, I have a very specific one in mind.
We do still need it to want to let us through, just as a reminder.
If it holds up its bargain as an honorable creature would, then it shouldn't matter.
I don't agree, but I will not stop you, Ezekiel.
Look, I understand the need for speed, but sooner or later our quarry is going to have to get the rest that we already took. And he likely would have had to pass much more slowly to sneak through on his own rather than kind of plowing through as we have done.
True. He also may have used up less of his energy getting through than we have.
After taking down all of the clerics?
Oh, good point. If we're real lucky, we can catch him sleeping, but I'm not counting on that.
I can be reasonable if you think speed is that necessary, but I do not want this creature to have any memory of anything it wants. I will test its honor if that is the only way to proceed.
I kind of look around and see what the others seem to think.
I also don't know if I trust this thing. I don't think we should suffer something that's unnatural to live. But I do agree with Ellory that we don't want to expend all of our resources fighting this thing if there's a bigger fight ahead. I think we could clear it out on the way back, but I do definitely agree that it should be cleared out.
As of right now, this is probably not our fight to take at the moment. We will probably need as much as we can later on. As far as we know, we are chasing after a very skilled assassin, and I don't want any of us to be caught off guard.
Meli?
I just think we should just give it a memory and go. We've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Yes, the woes of man and coin trump the world. Let's go give it a memory. And he starts walking down the hallway.
Ezekiel.
We said we were going to get it when we came back.
You'll speak to Ezekiel's back as he walks towards the hallway, stepping over what remains of the rotten door and into the wet hallway leading into the well itself. As you approach and the rest follow, you can see the pulsing yellow light coming from the kelp as it sort of rises up a bit to greet you, rising out of the water, following the body it uses to speak through.
Have you made a choice?
We have.
And what shall it be?
You want a memory of the outside world, and then you let us pass?
Correct.
Fine. How do you take it?
Who shall give?
Why do you think I'm speaking with you, creature?
It shifts the body to the side, getting it out of the way. As another tendril rises out of the water and moves towards you. A few more move and wrap around your ankles, lightly at first, before squeezing a little bit more tightly as the central kelp tendril moves towards wrapping around your torso, then around your neck, toward, like a snake head, it rises right in front of your face.
This may be painful. Do not resist.
Enjoy the show.
And as you do that, the tendril, which is longer and thinner towards the edge, towards the distal end of it, runs and follows up your nostril towards your cranium, towards your brain. As you feel the pain as it pushes towards it, you all see the yellow pulsing lights of the kelp itself and the tendril as it moves closer and closer. Ezekiel, what memory are you giving to it?
I am giving it to the memory of the last aberration I slew in the forest around the grove, a monstrous beast that was terrorizing forest, stabbing it through with holy light, and eradicating its disgusting being from the world.
Okay. As you try to hold this memory in place for it to take, you can feel its presence almost shift in, and this mental joining of minds, and you feel a wealth, as if you've just stepped into a room without walls, as you can sort of feel the presence of its mind but not know the contents. Make a intelligence saving throw.
Oh, fudge. I'm not good at that one. What'd I get? Come on, roll 20. Ooh,
that's
6.
So you take 18 points of psychic damage as you feel the presence of this mind envelop yours, latching onto the memory and ripping it from your mind. You can feel its presence almost probing into the other areas of your mind, searching with curiosity for other areas. You try to push it off, but it's too strong. And a moment later, the rest of you see the tendril pulls out of Ezekiel's nose. Ezekiel falls to the ground, blood pouring out of his nose, currently unconscious. A few moments go by as you step up, and as Ezekiel, you begin to blink your eyes and kind of come to with the tendrils that pulled back towards the center of the room.
I'm going to Ezekiel.
Pulling up my healer's kit. I don't know if I have anything I can really help.
He will stay Vesper's hand and just look at the creature. You took more than was bargained for.
You see behind it, the lever behind it, pulled down by its tendril, as you see. The stone door behind drops, and the tendrils and tentacles of this kelp begin to sink somewhat into the well.
Shall we go?
Are you okay?
I'll be fine. And I will go to the doorway and I will wait for everyone to leave.
Okay, I'll go.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll pull Meli in, because I don't trust her after the cow incident. Let's just go.
Okay, so you guys go over. If there's anyone not doing that, speak up.
Yeah, I think Paul will just go last. Last before Ezekiel, and just kind of put his hand on Ezekiel's shoulder and say, are you alright?
I think so. I could feel him probing past what I offered. I don't know if he took anything else. But we will be coming back here to finish this.
Paul just kind of looks directly into Ezekiel's eyes and says, we'll get those memories back.
And as you guys move from this well and begin down the hallway beyond, speaking this to each other, Ezekiel, the memory you offered is gone. You have some memory, fuzzy and hazy, leading up to it, and maybe the days after it, but there's a 1 to 3 day span that's just blank, that you can't remember at all. The rest of your mind seems intact. You can feel it tried to probe further, but it doesn't seem to have removed a memory like it did the one you offered.
As we get, I don't know, maybe 60 feet down the hallway, I'm going to turn around, grab my staff, and whisper, "Spirits of Fairy, be the beast that I cannot," and summon a giant constrictor snake. Go wear it down for me. I'll be back later.
The snake appears before it turns towards you, hissing in a language you understand as it turns to follow your command and heads back towards the well. You guys, as you can move along, you can see the pulsing yellow light flashing more vibrantly as you hear smashing and hissing and growling from the snake and the conflict beyond. The hallway you're in, it's crafted, but it's not of stacked stones. It's almost carved without tools, but clearly synthetic or not natural. It's long, leads 60 feet. Who's leading the charge continuing forward? Actually, as you're deciding that, I'll go ahead and say this. It's obvious. As you're moving along, you begin to see, as Ezekiel's dealing with the dripping blood, you see blood on the floor ahead of you, dried. You see a handprint on the wall, and you find an area of pooled blood on the ground, maybe 70 feet from the well.
He must have rested here after his encounter with that creature.
Do you think he gave up a memory or fought his way through?
Not sure. Looks a little bit worse than what I got.
If this is his blood, do you think maybe, I don't know, somebody has something that they could do to locate him? I don't know.
I might be able to sniff him down, but I need to rest first.
All right.
The hallway continues before turning to the left and descending down a staircase that leads to another platform, then down more until it leads to a straight hallway. As you're moving towards it, the smell becomes moist and musty once more. You can hear the sound of water dripping and moving. As you get closer with your lights, you begin to see the end of the hallway, but it's not. It is collapsed in. There is rubble preventing the progress further through the hallway. And towards the edge of that, you see there is a hole in the ground. A cracked hole, long, maybe a couple feet wide, maybe 5 feet long, about 3 feet wide. This hole that leads down into blackness. Beside it, you can see some crumpled up paper, and besides that, just rubble.
Check that paper.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the paper.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Noble. Oh, thanks. Dice 8.
8? Picking it up, there's no writing on it. It's waxy. You smell it. It's something that was wrapping food. So it was a ration wrapper of some sort. It smells like jerky, but you can't tell what.
Can I go over to the large hole and kind of stand near it and look down, and I think I'll use prestidigitation to wave my fingers above it and make some little sparks fall down it and see if I can see anything.
Okay. Making some sparks above the hole, the light does shine somewhat down there. You don't see a bottom to it.
Yeah, let's not go down there.
I'm going to dig into my little pouch of ball bearings that I've never used and just pull out one and drop it down and listen for it to stop.
Okay. Everyone make a perception check for me. As you lift it over the hole.
Fuck these dice.
5.
14.
8.
11.
Okay. I'll say Ezekiel, Meli, Ball, anything 10 or up. You guys hear a very faint whoosh.
I cast Dancing Lights and send it down. It's a range of 120 foot.
Okay. Yeah, as you cast the dancing lights and you push them forward, you can see as you push the lights down, at first you don't see a bottom, nor do you see walls looking towards the side. As you move them further and further down, You get towards the end of the range, you can see there is water. Looks mostly still water, about 160 feet down. Dark, unmoving.
I really wish I could catch that pool today.
I've got it, but I don't think we want to go down there.
Well, do you think that's the direction that our target went? Or did it go through there and block the way with all that rubble?
Can I look for prints to see if I can figure it out?
Yeah, you can make a survival check.
Oh my god, I can't roll today. That's a 12.
Looking around, I mean, you can definitely see where someone rested. You can see where dust was disturbed, where they're probably laying down. But other than that, you can't exactly tell footprints. Someone was here for a little while.
How, does it look like the rubble's been there for a while? Is it still somewhat settling?
Give me an investigation check on that.
That's not no good thing.
Can I...
18!
Never mind.
Amsen, as you begin to move towards Ezekiel, you can see there's a layer of dust on the rubble. There's some where it's disturbed, or maybe something was placed recently, but otherwise the rubble looks like it's been placed for a while. There are cobwebs growing on it.
I don't think he collapsed the tunnel. I think he likely went down.
Fun. So how are we getting down there?
Well, does it look like Ball would be able to fit through there anyway?
It'd be a squeeze for Ball. You'd be squeezed effectively, but you could probably squeeze through.
Okay. Was it water we saw at the bottom?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I don't know how deep the water is.
Amsen didn't use
fall.
Okay.
Yes, I have it, and I can cast it a few times.
How many times do you need to get us all?
I would need to cast it on each person. But if I have another rope hidden away in my robe, and I'm sure the rest of us have a bunch of ropes. I'm sure we can tie it to something and then use the rope to get down there.
I mean, I can't be shape right now, but I could summon another creature. That's also an option. Would take a while to ferry us down, but a couple of giant spiders would get us down fairly quickly.
And just for some clarification, the hole goes about 40 to 50 feet where it's inside the floor or the ceiling, depending on your perspective, before it opens up into the cavern. Again, there's some area where it would go down before dropping into the ceiling.
Well, should we at least try and climb down into that?
Ball starts to, while everyone's kind of deliberating, Ball starts to pull out his, quote, good rope kit.
Thick.
Yes, the thick rope kit.
Well, I'm not particularly heavy. If you'd like to send me down, just tie me to one end of the rope and then just lower me down. I can probably get a good look of everything going on down there.
How big is that cavern?
We have no idea.
I'm not usually one to volunteer to go into dangerous places, but with the veil that I've got, I can see up to 120 feet in the dark. I might be a better candidate for going down into an unknown cavern. I'm also very light.
I have another lantern I can make as well, and I can give you that if you want it.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think we will all be that quiet if we have to fall into the water. Perhaps we can simply create light on you, rather than use the lantern. Looking at Vesper, since I think Vesper can do it anyway.
Oh, well, if you can see that far with the veil up, then I don't know if a lantern would actually help you any.
No, and if I need more light, I can cast it on myself. Anyways.
Well, why don't we get down as far as we can and then lower Vesper in to take a look?
This one rope won't be long enough. We'll need to attach a few strands of rope. A bigger word for strand.
Oh, my apologies. Up to 5 falling creatures I can do with Feather Fall, but we have to be falling.
Well, I've also got 50 feet of rope, so we can use that as well. I'm sure most of us have rope.
Yeah, how much do we need?
I think we said it was 160. So we would need
But there's also, Maybe I misunderstood.
There's like 40, the hole goes down about 40 feet and then it opens up, and then it's about 120 feet from the ceiling to the water. So it's 150 total.
Right, and there's nowhere to sit at the bottom of that 40 feet. It's a thin gap, and then it widens.
Yeah,
a funnel
exactly
shape, upside down funnel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, good. I was wrong.
So we'll need at least 3 ropes.
You could Cusco and whatever it, but there's nothing to sit on.
That was my first thought.
Let's send Vesper down on about 50 feet first, just to the top of the opening, and then see what she sees and then decide where to go from there.
Let's just tie the 2 50-foot together just to be safe. And then if she can't see anything when we drop her in a little bit, we can let her slide in a little more.
Do we only have, 2 sets of rope?
I have more. I think
most of us have
Amsen, you said you have some
starting equipment.
Yeah, I've got more on my robe.
We should have plenty.
Should we go ahead and connect 4 of them?
Sure.
Yeah, we tie all the ropes together and we tie it around Vesper.
I'll use the strongest rope, I guess, at the top, since I assume so it can support the other ones.
Sure. So Vesper, you got it tied around. You're going to move down the hole, climbing down. With the rope is our ball. Are you holding the rope? Are y'all tying it to something? What are y'all doing up there?
Is there anything close by that looks sturdy enough to tie it to?
There's some rubble rock that you could tie it around, but it would then hit the edge of the hole.
What I'm thinking is kind of more of
a backup.
So, yeah, kind of like
you can definitely tie it around a big boulder, and then you kind of hold it above the hole if that's what you're thinking.
Okay, and since we're sending just one person down anyway, Ball will kind of expectantly look for others to help him.
Sure. So, Vesper, as you move down, make an athletics check at advantage because you have the rope. And Ball, give me an athletics check at advantage because someone's helping you to help guide the rope down for
her. That's a 13.
Okay.
16 for Ball.
Okay. As you're lowering down 10, 15, about 20 feet, you can hear as some of the rope is scraping the rock above. It's still holding as you move further and further down, but it's not going to be able to take much more.
Guys, I think the rope is starting to pull.
When you say it sounds like it's scraping as in like on an edge of something?
Yes, it looks like it was, it looks like it was scraping on the edge of the hole. But Vesper's able to be lowered further as you pull it over to the side ball.
Yeah, Ball will try to correct,
so you correct it over, the rope's a little damaged, but it's still intact. As Vesper, you're lowered halfway climbing along the wall, and you get to where you're in the ceiling of this next cavern. Looking down and around with your vision, you can see the water. Looks like a lake or pond of dark water. It looks unmoving at first, but then you do realize there is a little bit of a pull drawing sort of in whatever direction. You're not sure anymore. Looking towards the walls, you can't quite see the edges of all the walls. In some places, you can see the walls where they're a little bit closer, and you can see over to the right, looks like an entrance or two of tunnels. But from this ceiling, that's about all you can get.
Okay.
And so you're about 120 feet from the top of the water.
Don't like that. I will cast light on myself and see if I can extend my vision a little bit more.
I think your vision's 120.
120 right now.
Okay. The light helps a little bit. It gives you a few more feet, but not a whole much.
Well, we'll kind of look to Meli and say, can you send those lights of yours to help him?
Yeah, sure. Hello. Lights on there.
Okay. So Meli moves the dancing lights back down there, spreading out towards the walls. And with these dancing lights, Vesper, you can now see the edges of walls. There is a lake in the center of this cavern. You can see where the water slowly moves quicker and quicker and drops off into what looks like either a creek or an underground river ahead. And behind you can see where water feeds into this lake, which is still but is feeding in and out. Beyond the lake, there's a shoreline, and then you see multiple tunnel entrances all around this place. You see maybe 9 or so as the dancing lights kind of move around the cavern. You see 9 entrances. They look man-made. You see some remnants of either stone or wood structural support to the tunnels.
Okay, I'll tug on the rope to kind of hope the signal will bring me back up.
Okay, yeah, they can pull you back up, getting you back to the top.
And I will describe everything that I saw.
While she's describing it, Ball will start casting mending on the parts of the rope that look damaged, inevitably preparing in case we have to send more people down.
You repair it.
So 9 different ways out of that chamber.
Yep. That really makes things difficult.
All right. Well, how do we want to get down? Slide down the hole and have Amsen get... You said 5 of us?
Yeah, I can get 5 of us at the same time with one spell, but it's kind of an emergency thing.
How loud was the... It's not so much a river, right? Like, it's like a slow-flowing stream? Is that how I understand it?
From Vesper's description, it seems like it's slower towards the lake, but you guys can hear, and Vesper can hear, it does get louder as you get further from the lake, as it proceeds further down. But the lake itself is pretty still.
Vesper, while you were down there, did you see any, like, little landings or, like, a beach or something like that next to the water that we could probably pull ourselves out of onto?
Well, yeah, there was the shore by the tunnels.
Oh, okay.
So I think probably the best way to get down is to... Is there a way we can secure the rope up here that we can slide down it?
We can secure it to me.
But then you'd be stuck up here.
At that point, maybe I can simply fall in the water.
It's quite a drop.
Well, hopefully by that point I'll be down and can catch Ball with a magic spell.
Worst case scenario, I can always cast a spell myself to prevent any harm.
So is that y'all's plan, to climb down and then let Ball the rope and then Ball come down after, to be possibly feather followed by Amsen?
Yeah, and I think worst case scenario is, since Ball's like larger than the hole anyway and be squeezed, if things do go poorly, it'll be one of those things where Ball's stuck in the hole, but it's also saving you guys from falling. So
okay,
it's like a backup measure.
We'll say, Ball, go ahead and give a athletics check. Just a straight roll since you're doing it by yourself.
Can I inspire Ball before he does so?
Sure can.
Okay, so I'll give you an extra D8 for that.
That'll give Ball a total of 25.
Okay, so Ball, you kind of spread your legs over the hole, getting centered over it, holding the rope, gripping it, wrapping it around one of your forearms. As the rest of you climb down, everyone give me athletics checks. At advantage because Ball has secured the rope. 24 for Ezekiel.
15 for Vesper.
So straight 14 for Ellory.
9 for Amsen.
9 with advantage? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I rolled a nat 8 and a nat 6.
Yikes.
As you'll begin moving down, climbing down, Ezekiel, you kind of get to the edge, coming out of the cavern and continue to climb down. Vesper follows Ellory. Amsen, as you move, you get hung up on something. As you reach with one hand to loose your clothing that got hung up on a rock, your other hand looses and you spin, starting to tumble, trying to grab onto the rope again. Give me a dexterity save.
Please, my save die. Oh. Well, at least I have a higher bonus. 13 dex save?
Okay, you grab onto the rope, but you grind against the sides of the hole. Taking 7 bludgeoning damage, but you manage to grab back onto the hole before slamming into Ellory in front of you. Meli just slides down top of you as you slowly make your way down. You are now, as that crew is getting towards the bottom of the rope, and you are basically a few feet above the water. Do you guys jump in?
Yeah.
Okay. Splashing into the water. It's cold and dark.
I'm going to say get to shore as fast as we can.
Yeah, I'm heading towards the shore.
And I should still have light on me.
Okay.
I'm also looking up towards where we came from.
Okay.
As I head towards the shore.
Swim towards the shore. Meli's light and Vesper's light, lighting up the cavern somewhat. As you guys move towards the shoreline, getting towards the edge and coming over. The shoreline there's some soot and sand, but it's mostly stone. as you come up to the shore wet. And you can see sort of the few tunnels. There does seem to be some remnants of stone support as you turn around looking back up. Ball, you can feel the weight of your friends gone.
Right, so feeling that the rope's no longer taut, Ball kind of just take the moment to roll up the rope and keep rolling. 200 feet later, he'll just kind of strap that around like across him, and then try to squeeze through. And my understanding is that it's still kind of a bit of a tunnel at the top, right? Like you're saying, like a funnel. So Ball will try to kind of, stay along the edges of the walls if he can, or is it too wide at that point?
It's squeezed, but you can certainly try to do so. Give me an athletics check as you try to climb along.
And then before I do, I'll kind of give like a little heads up, like a warning, like, all right, it's my turn. And then I'll say it not too loud, but hopefully loud enough that they hear me 160 feet away. And then athletics check, straight roll, 11.
Okay. You're climbing down and squeezing. You feel your palms loosen without using the rope and just using the walls. You kind of bench press and try to grind your back against the wall to slow you down. Give me a dexterity save as you feel yourself slipping on the slick rock, trying to slow yourself down to catch yourself.
It's an 18.
Okay. You feel the echoing off the walls of the cavern, but you're able to catch yourself pressing against your back against the wall behind you. Catch yourself as you slowly move down towards the edge. You can see your feet are now dangling below, and you're about 120 feet from the water.
Amsen, can you see me? Amsen.
I can see you, Ball.
All right. And Ball will do like a 1, 2, 3 countdown, and then just kind of let himself go.
And Amsen, were you staying in the water, waiting on Ball? The shoreline is farther than 60 feet.
Yeah, I'll stay as close as I can to be able to catch him.
Sure, because you're kind of waiting in the water as Ball counts down and drops, falling towards the water.
And I cast Featherfall as soon as he's within 60 feet-ish.
Okay.
Counterspell.
Counterspell, your counterspell. I'm saving your life.
Picking up speed. Suddenly, he comes to a slow fall, gently swaying back and forth like a feather before into the water. Amsen, you feel something run against your leg.
We should leave now and try to swim, even though Amsen's terrible at it.
Both of you give me athletics checks as you're all swimming quickly as you can towards the shore.
That's an 8 for Ball.
Wow, 13.
Okay. Now, Amsen, you pull ahead, getting to the shoreline, turning around as you see Ball about 40 feet or so from the shoreline. Ball, you look over your shoulder as you see a wake being created about 15 feet behind you. Nothing sticking out of the surface, but you can tell there's something maybe a foot below the surface following. It gets closer. 15, 10.
I'll try to swim faster away.
Give me one more athletics check.
All right. 24.
Okay, you double over, going back head down, just swimming as fast as you can, holding your breath to not be slowed down by it. And finally your hands hit stone as you quickly stand up, rushing out of the water, turning around. You can see the wake about 15 feet from the shoreline kind of stop and then dissipate. As you all are gathered around the shoreline of this underground lake with multiple tunnels around you. What would you like to do?
Thank you, Amsen.
You're welcome, Paul. Is everybody all right?
I think so.
Besides being wet and cold, yeah.
Well, we should try and figure out which way he went, so I'll start looking for any signs of recent passage down one of the tunnels.
Sure. Give me a survival check.
I'll assist.
Okay.
So go ahead and do advantage.
19.
Okay. You look around the cavern as you move through, checking the entrances to each of these tunnels, and you can see, after a few of them, you start to see a pattern. It looks like a mine, or maybe something that used to be a mine, You do find, looks like the head of a pickaxe. Pickaxe, long rusted, the wooden handle is no longer existent. It looks like some sort of abandoned mine. You see some of the tunnels have been collapsed. With a 19, you do pick up some blood. You find a few blood trails. As you follow them further, you can see there are scales as you pick them up and look at them. They're not large. They're not dragon large, but they could be large snake sized. They look to be maybe, there's a metallic gleam to them as you check those out. Checking further, you see towards where the lake moves into that river that leads down. You can see kind of over the hill down below the sort of this step-like waterfall that leads into the river itself. You can see a stone dock. You can see what looks like some sort of pier where part of it is rotted away and part of the pier and dock has collapsed. But it looks like there was a dock here that led further. The river itself leads along. Looks like there's a trail along the river. And with a 19, as you're exploring one of the tunnels, you also notice a lump of something ahead. As you move closer, crouching, moving forward, you can see what looks to be a metallic sheen getting closer. It appears to be armor. The armor is broken, crushed. You see blood, the remains of flesh and bone inside the armor that has been crushed and decimated. You see a few more scales here.
Any idea what caused this?
Judging by the scales, maybe something like those lighthouse snakes we fought.
Can I identify the scales? Actually, he will bite the bullet and look at Vesper. You've been studying creatures, right? Any idea what this came from?
Maybe. Can I try and identify this?
Are you using a nature check? Is that what you want to do?
Probably.
Yeah, you can do a nature check. At advantage if Ezekiel's helping.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try. She's much better at that one than I am.
That's a 16.
It's metallic. It doesn't belong to any snake that you are aware of. Thinking back to Portcatcher, you remember some things that had scales. Dragonkin looks about the right size, looks copper-ish, could be dragonkin.
Can I look at it's gross, but can I look at the corpse in the armor and kind of like try and pick some of the flesh out and see if the scales are from him?
Kind of putting on your surgeon face, delve into the guts of what's left in the armor, pulling it aside, and you do see there are scales inside as well that match.
This warrior was like the ones we saw in Capture, the dragon folk.
Right.
Scales are his.
So, what killed him and how long ago?
Can I move into medicine and try and figure that out?
Yeah, you can make a medicine check.
Okay. I don't know what dice I want to use because none of them are going to get to me. 18.
18. You see bones fractured. You see the armor itself dented in, but not from blows. Something wrapped around their chest and squeezed. You see multiple broken ribs, sternum cracked, clavicles shattered. Something squeezed him to death.
Looks to be constricted. Possibly force damage. I don't know if it was like a spear or something that crushed him, but it looks like it was.
I look back towards the lake. Maybe we don't want to get too close to the edge of that water.
I did feel something as I was swimming away.
This seems like a fun place. I'm so glad we came down here. Well, any sign of other footprints, possibly from our quarry?
Ezekiel, with that 19, I'll also say, as you're in this tunnel inspecting and kind of watching Vesper dig into the guts, glancing around, you also notice something on the ground. Moving over, getting a little closer, you see the faint gleam of wax paper. Moving over, it appears to be a similar ration wrapper, the same you found above.
Strange man that seeing this would make him hungry, but I think we're on the right path.
Then I assume we continue this way?
Suppose so.
As you guys move, continuing around the tunnel, or look to each other and begin to move forward down the tunnel, everything goes black. You guys look around, but there's nothing. You can still hear each other You feel towards the edges of the tunnel and can feel it still, but see nothing.
Scales check.
Howdy.
See,
Here.
Ezekiel, that is a 21 to hit.
Yep.
You take 7 bludgeoning damage as you feel something wrap around your upper shoulder and head, wrapping around your shoulders and squeezing in your shoulders. And Amsen, you feel something brush along yours as well, up, trying to wrap your arm. You duck and twist out of it as you feel these long tendrils wrapping around you. Everyone go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh, that's this spell, isn't it?
Yeah, 20.
Oh, that's not a spell.
Whoa.
Ooh. Also a natural 20, so 19.
Isn't it so sad when your natural 20 is lower than a 20?
Yep.
6.
Ellory, we traded places.
Ball or Meli, who wants to go first?
Sorry, I didn't get 18.8. I was questioning how he got 18.8 and then realized I probably wrote it in the wrong chat because I didn't want to confuse you. I got 12.
Gotcha. Amsen, you're up first as the darkness envelops around you and you feel something try to grab at you. What do you do?
Oh, great. Can I roll maybe a quick Arcana check to discern whether this darkness appears to be magical?
Yeah, you can use your action to make a Arcana check.
Okay. Hey, that's a good roll. 24.
Okay. Think of how would you... Right before this happened, the light from Vesper and from any dancing lights from Meli were still vibrant, glowing. They didn't fade like the end of a spell. They were suddenly snuffed out. They suppressed the magic of the light spells, and for that reason you ascertain whatever darkness this is, it has to be magical in nature.
Okay. I'll yell out, "Magical darkness, get out!" And I don't want to run backwards because that's where the thing tried to grab me. I'm just going to take a 5-foot step forward, carefully backing away from whatever was trying to grab me. But that's my turn.
Okay, so you take a step back, shifting, and Vesper, in this darkness, the prism doesn't let you see, but you feel a tingling come upon you, as if these extra prismatic senses are trying to tell you something. Go ahead and make a turn now, since you technically aren't surprised. And
Okay.
you also go on your normal initiative.
I will use my bonus action to disengage since I'm hearing people getting bludgeoned, and I'm just gonna move 30 feet forward. And if that doesn't get me out of the darkness, I will use my action to dash and try and get out.
Okay. Having to move around people, it doesn't quite get you out with just the movement alone.
Okay, then I'll use my action to dash and try and get out.
Okay, you dash forward. You can suddenly see again your light emanates through the tunnel. Turning around, you can see the light spreads and then just hits like a wall of darkness. You see nothing beyond it.
About how much movement did that take?
You maybe have 10 left.
About 50 feet out, it ends. And then I'll turn and see if I can see anything down the tunnel.
Turning around, you can see as far as your light will go, the tunnel empty.
Okay. That'll be my turn. I'll wait for everybody else to get out.
And Ezekiel, that'll come to you. So you have something attached to you. It is engulfed around your head, and you're currently blinded, and you realize you can't breathe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I don't know that I can do much. So I will.
And Ezekiel, what's your con modifier?
Con modifier is +2.
Okay.
I have no spells that don't require verbal, so I am gonna hit it with a stick.
Okay. So you're attacking it?
No, I'll try and pull it off me. How about that?
So make a athletics check.
Okay, that I can do. 24.
Okay, you grab at it, unable to see, and you pull and pry. You can feel the tentacles trying to re-grapple onto your shoulders as you do so, wrapping around your arms. You're able to pry this thing off you. You still can't see, it's in blackness, but you can breathe once more as you have this thing thrown off you. You're not sure what it is, but it has tentacles.
All right, I'm gonna bonus action Shillelagh, and I'm just gonna... I don't know if I could have heard Vesper. I'm gonna go back, I guess, towards the lake and body.
Okay. Moving back. It's going to use its reaction to try to hit you. At advantage, which that was a 1, so that is a 20 to hit.
Hits?
Just as you turn around trying to move through, you can't see, so you're wading through people. You feel the tentacles wrapping around your throat, pull you back, almost clothesline you before you feel it over your head once more. You can no longer breathe. And that will bring us up to Ball. As you're standing in this darkness, you can hear rustling in front of you. You hear Vesper's call beyond in front, and you hear something behind you as well.
I heard what Vesper said, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So hearing that and hearing that Vesper had run forward, and since I heard Amsen also try to step forward, I'm going to try to assist with that and just kind of outstretch my arms and try to grab anyone I can, like any ally, and try to kind of help bring them forward.
Okay.
Except I have no idea who I would touch, but...
Yeah. I'll say we'll treat it like a grapple, and they can choose to just accept it, and you can pull them along at half speed for one person.
Okay, so maybe... Yeah, okay. I think Ball might say something to the effect of, move. But in the moment, I don't know whether or not they kind of really hear me, especially if it's move and grab at the same time.
Okay. And are you just grabbing out at random?
Yeah, so just kind of outstretching my arms, and the first person I can feel is who I'll kind of grab and try to push ahead.
Give me a 1d4. Just roll 1d4 for me.
Lucky number 2.
You grab Ellory. You feel her tugging her hair at first before you grab her shoulder, and you can, Ellory, if you accept the grapple, you can move forward at half speed.
Yeah, I'll go along.
Okay. So, Ball, you move forward. You're still in this darkness as you get to the end of your turn. Both of you are. But you're moving towards where you heard Vesper's voice.
Okay, and I assume that uses my action to grapple.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll get to there, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. Ezekiel, you feel the tentacles squeezing around you. That is a 19.
Miss.
Okay. You feel it squeezing around you. You flex against it and keep the bones of your clavicle and shoulders intact, resisting that crushing. So, Meli, it comes to you. You can feel your conflict behind you and in front of you, as well as Vesper, Ball, and Ellory moving forward. What do you do?
Oh, there she is.
Meli just
there she is. And there she goes.
So, Meli, you can hear conflict behind you and in front of you, as well as the voice of Vesper and Ball and Ellory moving forward. What do you do?
I'll run forwards.
Okay. You run forward, moving through, and you're still in darkness as you're moving through people with your standard movement. You can dash if you want.
Yeah, I'll dash.
Okay, dashing a few more feet, and you suddenly come into the tunnel where you see Vesper's light shining. I'm not sure if you're dancing lights. Did they last a minute? I'll find out in 1 second as soon as it loads. Dancing lights are probably gone at this point, but you move forward into the tunnel, still lit by Vesper. As you see Vesper ahead of you, you push and duck under the arm of Ball and Ellory. Turning around, you see just the light hit a wall of darkness.
I think that's my turn. I can't do anything else.
Amsen. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
Can I use luck?
You can.
Okay, you need to reroll, my dude.
Okay.
And I want you to take the lowest.
Sure thing. So instead of a dirty 20, that is a 13 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
You feel the tendrils try to wrap under you once more. You duck under it once more. You can feel it now almost a strange flapping noise, as you can now sense it is flying or something around your shoulder and head. And that brings us up to Vesper. So you're outside of the darkness.
I give Meli a quick look over now that she's out. She seems unharmed. I'm gonna hold my action for running back in if I need to get somebody out. I'm just gonna call out, "Sound off if you're alright."
Okay.
And wait for a response.
What's your trigger?
If everybody else is out except for one person. If there's somebody who's hung back, I'll go back for them.
Okay. So that will bring us up to Ellory. You're outside as well.
Oh, have I gotten all the way through?
Oh, no. You and Ball are together. He has your arm on your shoulder. You're still in blackness. You feel someone move under y'all's arms. And you hear Vesper's voice.
Okay. Well, first thing, I call out to Vesper, on my way out. And then I keep heading forward the direction that Ball was pulling me. Okay.
You move forward, and about 10 feet later, you're out of the darkness. You can see you see Meli and Vesper standing there. Turning around, you see the wall of black.
I think Ball's behind me. And I am similarly going to prepare Shocking Grasp if I don't see everybody else follow.
Sure. That will bring us up to Amsen. Okay. So you are in blackness. You feel something flying around your head trying to get at you. You hear people moving forward.
Okay. I want to try something a little weird. I'm going to take a 5-foot step back, and then kind of where I'm sensing where this thing is flapping and flying in front of me, I want to cast Fairy Fire. So it makes a dex save, and hopefully it works.
Okay, so you don't have to see it. You can just choose an area. So you took a 5-foot step back. Are you putting the area forward? Its area and moving forward?
Yeah, so like I'm moving, or
so you'll be at the very back behind the area.
Okay, so I'm gonna move towards where Ball and Ellory have been going.
Okay.
Right? Because I assume that the enemies came up from behind us. Is that correct?
So it sounded like there's one kind of behind you near you, and then one in front of you.
Oh, okay. The one that's flapping, I'm casting Fairy Fire in its direction. That's the point. And I'm going to move towards wherever Ellory and Ball went.
Okay. All right. Okay. You cast the spell. You feel it. Seeing nothing, you wait for some sort of reaction to happen, but nothing seems to happen as you step back.
Okay. And I guess I'll yell out, I think they can fly!
And that will bring us up to Ezekiel, who only heard muffled noises. You can't really make out any words as she has the thing wrapped around your skull.
All right. Well, I am going to stop running and possibly falling in the lake. Do I want to try and pull it off, or do I want to whack it? Yeah, I'm going to try and pull it off again.
Okay. Make a strength or an athletics check.
15?
You wrap around it, and it has a tight grip. You're able to push it off, sling it off in front of you. You're still in blackness.
Yeah, I am gonna just hold my ground this time and hope.
Okay, so Ball, you're still in blackness. You felt Ellory leave your grip. Moving forward, you're going to hear the voice of Vesper beyond.
So I know that, I believe Meli said she got out, right? Like, did you vocalize that?
No.
Okay, so, well, Ball knows that Ellery's out, Ball knows that Vesper's out, so Ball will kind of yell out and say, is everyone else out? Who are we missing? And then he'll use his... I don't mind Ball stopping to listen and try to make a head count of everyone if it uses his action or something for that.
Okay. It depends who's responding, essentially.
Yeah, so hopefully people are responding when Ball says that.
Okay, so
and
Ball...
I respond since I held my action, or?
Yeah, we'll say. Yeah.
Okay. All the girls are out. I don't have Amsen or Ezekiel or you.
And do I hear Amsen or Ezekiel say anything?
Amsen's been yelling about how apparently they fly.
Oh, right, you just said they fly.
Ezekiel, I don't think, has said anything, though.
You probably heard it as he pulled it off last time.
And yeah, you can hear conflict.
He seems preoccupied.
Okay, so I'm going to... so did that count as my action, Klouse?
I'll say no. That
no?
wasn't... Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so with my action, I'd like to use Divine Sense. Ezekiel, do you count as Celestial?
That is a Klouse decision.
Okay. So you use Divine Sense, and you don't sense anything. You get a slight feeling from Ezekiel, as you always do, but nothing else.
Okay, well, that's what I'm trying to hone into anyway. So
yeah.
I'm trying to find Ezekiel. So wherever I get that slight feeling of Ezekiel,
he's behind you.
Val's going to use his movement to rush in that direction.
Okay. So you turn, head in that direction. You can hear now the sounds of grunting and conflict as you're right next to that general vicinity.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Sure. At that point, the one right next to Ezekiel is going to try to do it again. It's a 7, and as it tries to wrap around you, you push it back. You can feel it's flying now. You can hear the flapping as it's flying ahead of you that you can't see. And Meli, it comes to you. You're standing on the outside of the darkness.
I will reply that I did get out, and then I will hold a spell I'll hold Ray of Frost for if I see either of the monsters pop out of the darkness.
Okay. So we have Meli now conjuring up the frost as the one on next to Amsen. I'm going to try to get at you. 13 to hit you, Amsen?
Nope.
Okay. You feel it try to wrap out around your shoulder, pushing it back off. Brings us up to Vesper. You're outside the darkness.
Oh boy. I don't really want to run back in. I don't know what else.
So the girls are out and the boys are in.
Yep. Man.
And Ellory, you're on deck.
I don't think I can do anything because I think I have to see all of my targeted stuff. I will cast just as a creature of choice within range, so I'm just going to cast Shield of Faith on Amsen since I haven't seen him yet. And that's going to be my turn. I'm just going to wait until everyone comes out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look that up later. Yeah, you do it. You do so, and that brings us up to Ellory, as you're holding electricity in your hands, Meli next to you holding a frost.
Fuck. I'm going back in, and I go forward with my hands out into the darkness, and I'm feeling for anything that does not feel like cloth or armor or the sides of the walls.
Sure. Going forward 30 feet, nothing. You can hear the conflict a few feet ahead.
I will use my action to keep going forward.
Okay.
Reaching for,
feeling
for, what was that?
You hit the back of Ball as you continue forward about 10 more feet. You can hear the conflict just beyond him.
Okay, so I'm going to try and move around him, continuing to feel for something bad.
Okay. Are you trying to attack something, or?
Not.
You can tell you're nearby it. You can use the rest of your dash movement to get next to where you think it is.
Yeah, what I'm planning to do is get next to it and use sorcery points to cast Shocking Grasp as a bonus action.
Okay. So you find where you feel like you're pretty close next to it.
Yeah, so if I feel something that is not cloth or armor...
you feel something that's not armor.
Then yeah, I'm casting Shocking Grasp.
Okay. So you use your sorcery points to do so?
Yep.
Make an attack roll at disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay, does a 13 hit?
Yeah, 13 hits.
Okay. What? I haven't used Shocking Grasp in such a long time. I don't remember.
2d8. As you feel a tentacle releasing the lightning energy through it.
So that's 6 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
And it cannot take any reactions.
Perfect. Got it. You do so, that brings us up to Amsen.
Okay. Can I hear anything near me?
Yeah, you hear footsteps and then suddenly of electricity.
Do I still hear that thing flapping near me?
Yeah, you hear two now. As you hear the ball run up and Ezekiel's next to you as well. You hear two flapping near you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to... Yeah, okay, I'll spend a 4th level spell slot, and I'll hold Bestow Curse, so that if anything tries to attack me or like touches me or anything like that, I'm going to cast Bestow Curse on it.
Okay. Okay, so you concentrate holding on to that spell, and that will bring us up to Ezekiel. So you have something flapping near you, hear suddenly next to your ear.
I'm going to once again hold my staff and call out to Fairy and send me those that do not fear the dark. and stack my staff on the ground and conjure 2 giant spiders, which have blind sight out to 10 feet. So they roll their own initiative, and I had that sheet up. Where did it go? Please be after me. 8, so they'll go at the end.
Okay.
Close to it.
Got him. As you call out, you can suddenly feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up as you can feel something nearby on the ceiling above you and to the left wall. And unless there's more, that will bring us up to Ball. You're standing next to your 2 flapping sounds.
So Divine Sense should still last to the end of this turn. Do I feel Ezekiel right next to me, or is he still ahead?
Yeah, it seems like Ezekiel and someone else, probably Amsen, is right next to you. Someone else came up, and lightning came from them. Or you heard it.
Ezekiel, are you okay?
He BRB'd.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He responds, yes. He's right next to you, or a little busy, or whatever Ezekiel says.
All right, so Ball's going to try to, I guess, strike into the... No, I think Ball's just going to try to take Ezekiel and drag him out.
I don't know if he willingly go or not.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess if he doesn't, then that would be the end of my turn anyway, because it'd be my action to do so. So it'll be like, Ezekiel, are you okay?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Ball says, Ezekiel, are you okay? And then
you would have heard my chanting with the spell. You're right next to me.
Got it. And then Ball will say, we need to move out of here. And then you'll feel Ball kind of grab your shoulder and try to kind of drag you out with him.
You can accept or deny the grapple, your choice.
Yeah, I left my little present. I can be dragged.
Okay. Pulling it away, Ball, you feel Ezekiel give, and you move back at half speed. So you're still... Actually, you guys come to the edge, Ball. The others, the girls, see Ezekiel and Ball just barely poke their heads out of the edge of the blackness. And that will bring us up to this one, who now is going to go towards Ellory. That's a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that's a 22.
2 bludgeoning damage as it wraps around your head. You're now blinded and suffocating.
Wonderful.
Brings us up to Meli. You're outside. You now see Ball and Ezekiel join you and Vesper as Ellory sprinted back in.
I'm sorry, Fina, you're muted. I don't know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
I will shout for Ellory, and I will hold my action for her reply. And I will hold a spell. I'll hold Ray of Frost for her reply. No, yes, Ray of Frost.
Okay, what do you shout?
I'll shout, Ellory, are you okay? And then if she answers, I want to try and shoot it near where her voice is and see if I can hopefully hit the monster and not her.
Okay. As you're waiting on a response, Amsen, you feel the flapping continuing to try to get at you. That is a 20.
Okay. I think I might just let it happen. And in doing so, it has to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So that is 8 bludgeoning damage as it wraps around you, squeezing onto you. You're blinded, suffocated, and it rolls a 16 wisdom.
No! Saves.
You release it, but you're distracted and you get maybe a tentacle. You're not sure what effect it has upon it, but you are now suffocating. That brings us to the spiders. So there are 2 spiders as we kind of shift to the perspective of them attacking from the wall and ceiling at these things.
So the instruction they were given was kill the monsters, not the people. So they're going to each reach out towards the one that's closest and do a bite. So natural 20?
It's...
So that is... Oops. Ignore the poison damage in there because it didn't roll it right. So 10 piercing plus 6 poison?
The spider on the ceiling reaches its...
I'm sorry. It has to make a saving throw or Constitution.
16.
Then never mind. No poison damage?
Okay. The
or
spider
half
on
as much. 3. Sorry.
Okay. The spider on the ceiling reaches down with 2 of its legs pulling at something. I can sense with this blind sight, tearing its fangs into it as you feel the flapping. Those of you within it go silent and something falls to the floor. Suddenly, the bubble of darkness, Ezekiel and Ball are standing out of suddenly shrinks in a few feet.
16?
16 to hits as well.
So that is 9 piercing and make a con save.
That's a 9 on the Constitution.
I don't know why I have it in 2 places. We'll take the 3. That seems fair.
Okay. As the other one on the wall strikes at the one on Amsen's head, you feel something pull at your head. Suddenly, Amsen jerking to the side as you feel one of the tentacles pulled off. And that will bring us up to Vesper, then Ellory, who are... Vesper, you're outside. Ezekiel and Ball have exited the darkness. It has just shrunk somewhat.
I will... This is a terrible situation. Just call Amsen, Ellory, and as I do that, I'm running up to Ezekiel, and I'm going to try him. I'm just going to healer's kit him.
Okay.
Oh, very good. That is 9 plus 8. That is 17 hit points healed.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
If she runs up quickly, field medicing your wounds, and they'll bring us up to Ellory. You feel something drop, the flapping stop in front of you. You
the
still
one that
hear,
attacked me.
Yeah, and you still hear flapping next to you, but one is down.
Then I'm first going to reach out and feel around for something that feels similar.
Yeah, you reach around and a tentacle wraps around your hand.
And I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp again.
Go ahead. At disadvantage.
This one's a 12?
Hits.
Okay.
It wraps around. All you have to do is release the electricity.
Ooh. That is 13 points of lightning damage.
Okay. And as the lightning releases from your hand, it runs. Amsen, you can feel a sudden shock as your muscles tense up, and whatever is on your head relaxes. The darkness fades completely, revealing this tunnel. You see something dead on the ground as Amsen pulls off whatever's on his head, throws it to the ground, as you see these 2 black octopuses of some sort. As the light now comes through the hallway as you rejoin, you see some of Amsen's hair kind of sticking up from both the creature being on it and from the electric shock and static. And as you kind of rejoin and get your bearings once more, we'll go ahead and take a quick break.
Next time on Back to the Story.
Are these eggs or something?
You're in darkness. One is attacking you. You can feel the Matron flying nearby. The energy burst from you in this tornado of radiant flame. The rest of you could see, trailing out of the area of darkness, you can see burning embers, a firestorm, burning around where Ball was.
Ball.
I can't see you.
Are you okay?
Was this me?
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.